Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 8 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War. And in today's episode I must move Sigurd and crew forward as much as possible to get them to where they all need to be for the upcoming fights. Alright, so Alec, I think, can go ahead and just strike you here. The slim sword should be fine. I actually really like the slim weapons in this game. Even though they're not great with might, all of the slim weapons in this game, which technically there's only a slim sword, slim axe, so I guess both of the slim weapons, they are very good when it comes to weight. And give some of your characters, especially lance-wielding characters, the option to use lighter weaponry, which I think is very important. And it can be quite useful. Wow. Master of Exact Damage Lex. This episode might go by without a discussion about units, which is kind of an interesting little bit of information there. Ethlyn needs to heal up as much as possible. We're waiting on Sigurd. Sigurd has to get up here and basically do most of the legwork. Though I will say, Ideen and Ethlyn do need to get the conversation going, so I would be mindful of that. Ideen needs to talk to Ethlyn, and I really think, Madeira needs to talk to Ethlyn or Ideen as well. So I'm actually going to be able to get a KO with Dew here, which is really insanely nice. I really appreciate that. I think that's fun. I can finally move Ideen out of the way, get some healing on my other units. This is going to be fantastic, especially for the turns coming, because I'm going to need 2 healers. Later on in Genealogy, you don't really need 2 healers if you're paying attention to what you're doing, especially with some of the more busted staves, but for the time being, it's definitely still a very big necessity. And that is the end of my turn. So Marfa's face is going to move on, and I think all that means is there's a couple of guys that are going to attack Dew, which is perfectly fine. As long as the other one doesn't hit, that is. Okay, nice. So it's incredibly, and I mean incredibly important that you talk to Ethlyn pretty much as soon as you possibly can, and would be nice if you adapted, and he did. Very good, Quan. So I'm going to basically be spending a turn to do that here, as long as I don't have too many units that need healing, which might be the case, unfortunately. Fact of the matter is, I might actually move back a little bit to give. All right. I probably shouldn't have pulled these guys, honestly, but I mean, I think it's going to be fine regardless. But I only have 6 turns to reach that village. Elliot has fled. Very well. Leave him to lick his wounds. We're done here. Withdraw. And then you see stuff like this where they're moving back to the castle and you can't skip it. You can't even speed up the animations of their moving outside of the enemy movement speed, because that increases everybody's movement speed. I don't know why it just says enemy. Maybe to make it, more streamlined, I guess. Alright, Sigurd. I think I'm gonna have to pretty much just going all in and attack with all of my units right now. Okay. Yeah, the only problem is that Dew is in dire straits if I don't heal him, because he could potentially get hit here. So I think this is not that great, if I'm being honest. I probably should have waited to pull them. But it's okay. Dew is healed. I'm going to be able to get the rest of my units to form a bit of a wall. Walls are good, especially in Fire Emblem. And a good old axing for you. Yeah, the bow guys are always the more important threats, so I will be taking care of them first, obviously. Pretty good level up, Aideen. Pretty good. And he performed another adept, which is actually really nice. And then Alec will be able to finish off this Verdanite here. Unfortunately, Aideen is going to be attacked, I think, by a couple of units here. I don't particularly like that. Honestly, it might be a restart. But I'm going to save that for when it happens. Alright, so now it is time for the enemy phase. Let's see what happens here. Now, Dew is still struggling to battle this guy, doing 4 damage. Hilarious. Wow. That's incredibly surprising, to an extreme degree. Yeah, so all that this is going to take is the bow unit to decide he's going to go after Aideen, and it's going to be a restart, because he's going to hit her. If the axe unit hit her and she's on, you know, the tile, it's very likely that the bow unit's going to hit her, unfortunately. Alright. Oh, incredible. I do think this is actually a quirk of the authority stars of my enemy. So Gandalf only has 2 authority stars, if I'm not mistaken. And what that means is that the enemies are a little bit dumber and won't gang up on your allies to just try to KO. Because obviously that guy could have KO'd Aideen. So basically nothing to worry about in that matter. Which is great for me. You know, I'm pretty happy about that. The rest of these guys should be manageable now. At least I think. I would hope. Yeah, Azel still can't reach. Very, very unfortunate. There is no potential of him reaching either. So I do have my hands full here. I think it's for the best to finish off as many units as possible. I actually think right here a good idea is just to try for Adept, and I got it, which is nice. It's actually very nice. I didn't need that, but it was definitely something that was very appreciated. And now, I'm going to go ahead and start attacking the rest of these foes. It's going to seem a little bit strange, but I actually think I'm going to move Lex back a bit. Reason being is because I actually want him to speak to his new potential girlfriend, Ira. I'm going to be pairing Ira and Lex. I think they're actually the best pairing for both of them for a number of reasons. Though a lot of people would probably disagree, and a lot of that disagreement has to do with... Okay, so I actually think I can take out pretty much the rest of these guys. A lot of that disagreement has to do with the fact that he is not capable of giving weapons to any of the kids of the next generation, so he only gives skills. At least directly giving weapons. I'm going to show you a trick to that later. Milady, you're safe. Ah, thank the gods. I'm so sorry I failed to protect you. Please, forgive me.
The important part is that you're safe as well, my dear. Please don't worry about me. You gave your all to protect me, and I couldn't thank you enough for that, even if you didn't succeed. For now, I'd like you to remain with Sigurd. He could use your strength.
Certainly, milady. He's done so much for me. For you, and for all of Jungby. I'll do all I can to return his kindness. Yeah, so what that does is that conversation increases the love points between Aideen and Midir. And the closer they get to a certain degree of love points, the better, because what it does is will allow her to give him the best bow in the game. Some would argue that the killer bow is better than the bow that I'm specifically speaking of, but I don't personally agree. And when I show you its power, I think you're going to have a hard time saying that, that's the case. All right, so I can finish off a few more of these guys, but there's going to be one who's going to be left. And I wonder, this is not gonna, she does KO, but the issue is, oh, you know what, he's at low HP. Never mind. And then I do want to leave her 5 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here would be perfectly fine. So that Aideen can talk to her next turn. Alright, Finn, you have to hit. Thank goodness. Now, I could do more arena with Noish, but unfortunately his experience points level, where he's at, he's not good enough to deal with the rest of the foes in there, so I don't think that that's really that pertinent or useful. Wow, this guy only has a 13% chance to hit do, and yet he has on several occasions. That's literally a 1 out of 8 approximately. A little bit less than that. It's like it's like 7.9 or something like that. 7.8. Doesn't matter. Alright, so I have 4 more turns to reach this guy. Even if I just leave a little bit left, it's fine. I can give the village to do. He can give it to somebody else. Alright, Alright, Sigurd should be able to reach it in time, but again, you know, this is kind of a little bit hairy here. Azel can move forward. He's going to be KOing the boss. Time to talk.
Aideen, are you okay? When I heard you'd been abducted, I was so worried. You came to fight for me as well, Ethelyn? Thank you. I'm sorry for your trouble. It's difficult to convey my thanks, but please accept the staff. I think you'll have more use for it than me. Is this a return staff? Oh, thank you, Aideen. I'll put it to good use to help us all.
This is the only return staff that you get in the first generation. And I do believe that the only return staff you get in the second generation is something that you can only purchase several chapters into the second generation. This is very, very important, and you do not want to miss it. Warps one adjacent ally back to the base castle. This gives not only a lot of experience points, but it is very convenient and useful. It's something that I'm going to be using for this particular chapter to ferry a lot of units back to the home castle before I finish the chapter for specific reasons that are pertinent later on. Let's see. Madeir already talked to Aideen. Now, what you want to do to grow love points is you want your units who are your particular pair to be next to each other constantly, at least until they are done growing in love points, so on and so forth. Let's see. Then what I could do here, and I'm seriously, very seriously considering this, is getting Aideen to this castle and selling her men's staff. I don't think that's going to be all that useful for right now, and I don't think it's necessary, but it would be a little cute quirk to do. I'm going to go ahead and heal up with Ethelyn. Finn can be 5 spaces away from Aideen. 3, 4, 5. So right where Quan is. Besiege. And I think I'll go ahead and attack Gandalf. Oh, come on. First my women fleas, and now this? Damn my rotten luck. Yeah, a little bit of quaint damage. It's honestly not that big a deal. Give Quan some chip experience points. We're not talking about anything worthwhile here. He's only doing 1 damage, hilariously. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Ira and Lex need to be next to one another. Basically, for the rest of this chapter, just to speed up the acquisition of those two's love points. I guess it doesn't hurt just to do a little bit of damage. Not only that, Alec would appreciate the boss chip experience points. It's not great. We're not talking about world beating here, but it is better than nothing. And I think that's pretty much it. It's time to end the phase and move forward with my wonderful, wonderful team. As you can see, the chip damage really didn't do anything significant. But it gave some experience points, and that's pretty helpful. Azel still can't reach. Are we joking? It's a shame, too, because Azel has to basically stand here to fight. Alright, so Ira and Lex get a move on. Do stay out of the way. and Finn will be healed. I think I'm going to use Finn to help with the chip this turn. Then again, he has a hand axe. Yeah, I don't think that's worthwhile. That's a waste of my time. Now, I do not want Ethlyn to be right next to Quan because she will give him the Lover's Crit ability, and that's not something absolutely not something I want at this current time. I do believe it's just here that is left. Yeah. I wouldn't mind if he adepted. I definitely don't want him to crit. Okay. Another thing to keep note of when it comes to growing love points in this game, you can only grow love points up until, I believe, the 50th turn of a specific chapter. So grinding in this game is actually capped, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't think that would be the case.
Hey, Miss Ideen, I got something good to give you. Look, I picked up this odd cane. It won't do much good if I just hold on to it, will it? Oh, this is a warp staff. Where did you find it, Do? Oh, I found it just over there. Yeah, that's right. Weird, isn't it? I betcha one of the gods left it over there, just for you. Oh, Do. Having a staff like this ought to be a great help for everybody. Thank you, I'll cherish it.
So yes, you not only receive the the wonderful return in this chapter, but you also receive the warp. Buddy, this is even more useful and more important than the return staff, but both are important. Warp's one adjacent ally to an allied castle. So it's not just home castle, you can send them to anywhere. This does allow somebody like Azel to get all the Herheim kills back there, and then I could return Ideen and then warp him to this particular castle, and then he could trudge through the forest. But I just find that to still be kind of slow, so I pretty much opt out of doing that. Perfect. That was actually literally perfect. Besiege. And what are you supposed to be? You've got nerve, Brett.
So you're Gandalf. How dare you harm Ideen?
No, this can't be. Yeah, so Azel has an appreciation for Ideen, but I'm not going to be allowing him to gain that appreciation through pairing. Yeah, the hand axe is kind of a pointless thing for him to possess, but that's okay. The skill ring is actually useful for next chapter. It's actually, well, it's useful for a lot of things, particularly. Where can I go? Let's move you here. Who needs to be healed? Just Quan. After I heal up Quan with Ethlyn, I'm just going to continue moving them left and through the forest, whilst I heal up the rest of my units and prepare to seize the castle. Mend up Lex. Now he's perfectly fine. Perfect. Awesome. And then, of course, I'm going to continue doing the pairings while I wait, because this is going to be a pretty long haul, getting all my units over here. And I do believe that's it. So that's the end of my turn, and moving forward, it's looking like a very good turnout here. I just have to deal with this guy, and unfortunately, if Sigurd can't one round, I'm gonna miss out on this village. He can, so that's nice. Very close situation there. Ira. Yeah, aside from that, I think Quan just needs healing. And then I have to move the rest of my units forward. I think what I'm going to do here, though, is skip this and be back in just a moment. Alright, now that my units are perfectly aligned, I'm going to go ahead and visit this village and seize the castle. Just to the north of here is this mighty woodland, so-called the Spirit Forest. Once upon a time, I lived there too, in this little hamlet deep within. The little village is home to the last kin of the Dark One of old Lapter. They say it all started with Saint Myra, exiled by the Empire for daring to sympathize with mortal men. In my day, there was this gorgeous girl living there called Sigurd, the last heir of Lapter's bloodline she was. She lived there her life, under close guard, the villagers wary of letting the blood of Lapter loose into the world. Alas, Sigurd grew weary of the tireless forest life, and she left it all behind, breaking ancient commandments. A couple of years later she came back, except now she was pregnant. Never said who the father was, mind. Before long, Sigurd died, even as she gave birth to her daughter. From what I heard, the hamlet's old prophet took her in and raised the girl as her own. If the little girl's still alive, she'd have to be about 17 or 18 by now. A whopping 500 gold. Obviously, I'm going to be giving that to somebody else, and Sigurd is going to go ahead and seize.
No, please let go of me.
What's the matter? Come on, I'm just asking for a little date.
I need to go home, sir. I ask of you, please pay me no mind.
Shut up. Keep your yapping and you'll regret it.
What's going on here? Let the girl go.
What's the problem? This one's... you're not that Grand Valiant Paladin, are you?
You understand the situation? Then be on your way. There are none I loathe more than your kind. The girl has given you her answer. Now, leave her be and get out of my sight.
Yeah, got it. My bad, Missy. I was just teasing, that's all. Sorry, I'll be off now.
Are you all right?
Yes, thank you, Sir Sigurd.
You know of me?
Yes, I met a woman named Ideen not long ago in this castle, and...
She spake of me?
She did. I knew from the moment I laid eyes on you, you are in every way the man I had imagined.
May I ask your name?
I'm sorry, but I must go.
Wait, please. I just want to talk to you for a while longer.
I am truly sorry. I am glad we could meet even once.
What? What do you mean? Please wait. There goes a very interesting and enigmatic young woman. Lord Sigurd, is it? What's the matter? Oh, you must be the town elder. That woman who ran off just now, do you know who she is? Ah, of course. That woman is called Deidre. She is a priestess of the Spirit Forest. Deidre, she's beautiful. Oh ho ho, even a refined man like you can't resist being charmed by her ilk. Could it be love at first sight? Ho ho ho. Sir, please, don't tease me. And yet, I've never seen anybody so beautiful before. I need to see her again. Alas, sir, for it cannot be so. The folk of the Spirit Forest staunchly refuse to partake in the world beyond their woods. Furthermore, that girl and members of her clan are forbidden from ever liaising with men. Village lore dictates that should this ever happen, calamity would befall the world. You have no choice, sir. Resign yourself of that girl. What superstitious nonsense, that poor girl. Deidre, we must meet again. See, I kind of agree with him that it's superstitious nonsense, but also a lot of calamity does happen because he pursues this girl. That's pretty funny. Either way. Verdane. Father, this is absurd. Why do you still refuse to listen to me? My brothers already have fallen, and it's only a matter of time before they come for the capital as well.
The Granvale commander, Sir Sigurd, is a good man. Please, end the war while you still can.
I allowed Gandalf's raid only because I'd been told that Granvale would surely come to invade us first. Never did I intend for a war like this.
It was that sorcerer Sandema who told you that, wasn't it? You, Kimbath, and Gandalf trusted him too readily. You've all been deceived. Now, Prince Jamka. That's enough of that. Your duty as prince is to lead your men into the fray. Dawdling in a place like this would be deeply troublesome of you.
Damn you, Sandema. That's enough, Jamka. Listen to Sandema. Go lead your men into the fray.
Father. Very well. If you won't change your mind even now, then I'll see this through as well. But be warned, should I return victorious, Sandema, I'll allow you to live no longer. I wouldn't have allowed him to live then.
Sandema, perhaps for all this time you may have not been entirely forthright with me. You did assure me that Granvale hungers to claim our land, and yet...
And just what are you saying now? To think, I believe that you Verdanites would be of use. You truly are naught but savages. You are worthless, completely and utterly worthless, and from now on your army is mine to command.
What? No, stay back. Back.
Feeble-minded old fool.
So you've put an end to the king, Sandema. Did you expect that the Verdanite army will still obey your command?
Oh, Archbishop Manfroy, how long have you been here, your eminence? The army is of no concern at all. They need only know that the king has fallen ill.
I see. And what of the situation here? Does the plan progress?
My sincerest apologies, your excellency. That Granvalian, Sigurd or something, has proven to be an unexpected obstacle to the invasion.
And what of the search for the Latvian scion? Have you found Sigurd's daughter?
No, not yet.
Imbecile! After all of the pains I have gone to locate the boy. The son of Sigurd is still in Valhalla, and he's worthless without the female. Listen well, Sigurd was an heir of Prince Mahira, brother of an emperor of the old Lapta Empire. Sigurd alone in this era inherited the sacred blood of the Dark Lord. That woman broke the commandment that Myra placed upon his heirs and bore 2 children. Do you know what this means?
Yes, your eminence. When the blood of the 2 heirs intersects, the second coming of the Dark Lord Lopter will be upon us.
Precisely, and so too shall we, descendants of the Lapter Empire, return to this world. You know as well as I, Sandema, how heavily our fates depend upon the resurrection of the Dark Lord. You know well our order's centuries of exile hidden deep within the Yade Desert. You know well the abuses, the famines, how we were sustained only by dreaming of the day when the Empire will rise again, and at long last the day is upon us.
Understood, your eminence. If I must surrender my life to ensure that the plan is realized, I will do it gladly.
Unfortunately, I think Kaga tries to, especially in Thracia at times, tries to paint the Lapterian Empire as, or the Laptrians that are not particularly Empire themselves, as like gray kind of enemies that have a bit of, I want to say, like, you're almost supposed to feel sympathy for them, you know, that they're persecuted for generations, except for the fact that they're a literal cult of abortionists who are trying to kill off children to revive the Dark Lord Lopter. And it's kind of like, well, okay, there is no sympathy here. If you're evil, you're evil. There is no gray in anything. It's either black or white, evil or good. You know, there's no in between. The people who think there is an in between have a very lax idea of morality and have no clue what that word even means. But aside from all that, it is time for this episode to be over. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on the platform of your choice. Leave a comment down below, and while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.